we also wanted to touch on one other thing that comes to horror movies, at least.
Yeah.
We wanted to challenge each other and see if you could take one iconic horror movie, any period of time, remake it. What would you change? Who would you have direct it?
Okay. I'd have to choose Hellraiser, and for a director, I would choose Denis Villeneuve. And the reason I say that is because I'd be like super left field, and nobody would expect it, and his visual style, and usually he works with Roger Deakins, who's a cinematographer.
Okay.
Did Sicario, Blade Runner 2049.
I still have to see both of those, honestly.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
It's like super. He's like super. Him and Denis Villeneuve, like they're super artsy, and the shots are like, you can take each shot in all their movies and like frame them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good they are.
Okay.
And Hellraiser, I think that would like be good with Hellraiser because one, the mythology is like so vast, and visually I think it could work with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Because he has at least one or two actors he likes working with, evidenced by because he's working on Dune right now, correct?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty
Chalamet.
And Batista.
Oh, he's in that too?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he was in Blade Runner 2049.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So he clearly has people that he favors and that he likes to keep. Because Batista is more of a character actor.
Yeah.
And he does very well. I mean, like, look at Drax is... It almost feels like it was made for him.
Yeah.
He wears it like a glove.
Mm-hmm. And he was super good in Blade Runner 2049. That was a more subtle, like... Not an out there performance. It was like pretty contained, and he was good in it. So.
Well, and it's crazy because Denis Villeneuve switched that role for him a little bit, and they had to so Batista's already like 50-something years old.
Yeah.
And they had to put a bunch of prosthetic like makeup on him to make him look older because he's like, dude, you don't look young. So they had to switch a bunch of stuff to make him fit. He's like, I think I got to go a different way because you just don't look your age. Mm-hmm. He's like, you look like you're like 35 because he's in great shape for being like 52, I think, and it's just nuts.
Yeah.
I would. So who do you think he would try to bring into Hellraiser specifically to play?
Yeah, that's a hard one, man.
I know.
I have to think about that and come back to you.
Yeah.
That's like.
I know it's putting you on the spot. It's just after talking about it got me curious.
Yeah.
So I picked The Shining. Primarily for the reason I recently read the book, or I listened to the audiobook on Audible, and it made me understand all the drama behind why Stephen King hated the movie. I don't hate the movie, but I felt like it could have been a lot better.
Okay.
The Shining was almost entirely left out of that movie. If I really like try to think about it, excuse me, they have to call the Dick Halloran, that black dude, to come and help him. Mm-hmm. The whole idea of The Shining is like a power that Danny has. Yeah. And Dick Halloran also has that power, and he notices it from the moment he meets him, which they get that part kind of right. Yeah.
But that's the only time they really...
Yeah.
Like, allude to it.
But in the book, there's no phone call. Okay. He, telepathically, with The Shining, communicates with him over from Colorado to Florida. Okay. Like, to the point where it, makes his nose bleed because it, hurts him that much. Like, it's... The power of The Shining is so much cooler than the movie made it look. Okay. If I had to pick a director, we already talked about Jordan Peele, but I can't get enough of his work. Yeah. And especially if you put him behind the driver's seat, I'd love to see what he could do with it. Oh, yeah. I'd be really happy if they could use the Stanley Hotel, where the book was based off of and written in, just because it would add that extra little twist to it. I don't think it's big enough to support a production like that, but it would still be interesting.
They definitely have to close it down for a bit.
And dude, they would have to change a few things because in the book they mention Stapleton Airport. Oh. Which hasn't been a thing in 20 years. Yeah. So, because DIA's been around
94.
DIA is the actually most recently built airport in the United States.
Yeah, I think it was built in 94 or 95.
Yes, it was 94 because it was the year we were born.
Nice.
But it's crazy how dated it is.
Right.
And the fact that The Shining, I think, only works in that time period. Because you have the racial factor of Dick Halloran being African American and the way the hotel actually treats him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could kind of evolve with the fact that it could be just like an old hotel.
Yeah.
And the people and the spirits that are stuck in it are stuck in that mindset. But I think if you... I think they did the movie recently, Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
A little too recently. I would have rather seen a remake of The Shining and then Dr. Sleep.
And Dr. Sleep, did you see Dr. Sleep?
Not yet.
Okay, I haven't either. Because what I'm getting out of it is that, like, it kind of had like a hard task in a way. Because in one way you have to like be faithful to the Dr. Sleep book and be faithful to being a sequel to the Shining book. But he also has to like incorporate the Shining movie, the Stanley Kubrick one.
Because that's what everyone's used to.
So he kind of had to do both things.
Especially when the only reason that Stephen King wrote that second book was to basically say screw you to Stanley Kubrick.
Because in the trailers, at least, like, there are definitely shots from The Shining.
Oh, wait.
Or at least remade for
I haven't watched the movie, but I watched enough stuff on IGN.
Mm-hmm.
They hired someone to come in and basically play Jack Nicholson's part.
Really?
That looks exactly like Jack Nicholson.
Shit.
And like makeup and stuff. And it was only a small scene, kind of like in Danny's head or whatever. But like he's holding the axe and stuff. And like it's super homage to the movie.
Okay.
While I think played it safe enough to where Stephen King was happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to watch that. I'm going to read the book before I watch the movie.
Okay.
I already bought it on Audible. I just haven't had a chance yet. If we're going to go with casting, though, for that, because I want to see him have a success and it hasn't come with anything other than Iron Man, RDJ.
RDJ as Jack Torrance?
Yes, because of the fact... One of the biggest things left out of the movie, other than The Shining, is the alcoholism.
Okay.
And that is one thing that RDJ played very well with Iron Man. And it wasn't even, like, touched on as well as it should have been.
Right.
In Iron Man. And with him struggling with real-life demons...
Could use that experience.
Yes. It would be the perfect fuel for the fire, where... Doolittle, it didn't do him any favors, and the fact that he was offered it almost feels like an insult.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
One thing I found out this week, when do you think the original Doolittle came out?
The original?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it like in the 50s?
67.
Okay.
I did not know about it.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it existed.
I thought the first one was Eddie Murphy.
Really?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I knew that one existed, but I'd never seen pictures from it, never seen anything from it, but... yeah.
If I had to cast a young Danny, I would probably... So it'd have to be like a 5-year-old kid, so that's a hard one to throw in casting.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot of 5-year-old kids that are famous. I was going to say, if I could, the kid who played Eddie in it,
yeah,
if he was 5 years old, I would love that. That'd be the perfect casting. And to play the mom... Oh, that one's a little harder, because it would have to kind of fit with Robert Downey Jr.'s casting as well.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to see a Gwyneth Paltrow.
No.
So, man, that...
I'm trying to think of someone like around his age, too.
And if we're going with faithful to the book, she would have to be blonde.
Blonde, okay.
Margot
Robbie.
So I would say yes, but I feel like that's overplayed.
That is overplayed.
Because if Hollywood could, they would cast her in everything at this moment.
And I mean, I'd be fine with it.
I would for the most part, but it always gets old. Just like we were talking about with Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. Oversaturation makes it to where the people are less interested.
Yeah.
I love Brad Pitt, but what was the last thing he was in before Once Upon a Time? I know he was in Ad Astra, but before that, I can't think of anything.
It was after Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Before Once Upon a Time? Fact check.
I'm thinking Moneyball, but I know it was something after that.
Yeah, because I think Moneyball was like 2012.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of still who like could play that role for the mom in that movie.
Let's see.
The
before
Once Upon a Time.
He's been in 81 movies.
And just as a side note, because I know there was a lot of silence here for a moment, this is why we need Nate. So he can look at this stuff while we talk.
So he was an Allied in 2016, which was a World War II movie. War Machine in 2017. Deadpool 2 is that little cameo.
That was the best waste of... Do you know what he got paid for that movie? Coffee and an apple.
Wow.
Like, that's all he just... Because he was there for 15 minutes.
And that's literally... that's all. That was, like, before.
When did Fury come out? Because that's the last thing I remember.
14? Yeah, 14.
Oh, wow, dude. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, so...
So The Big Short, I would say, is the most famous thing in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Other than Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Female actress that could play... Because I wouldn't want someone who's been in a bunch of stuff, like, because first thing that would pop in my head would be like a Scarlett Johansson, but I feel like she's getting oversaturated.
And it wouldn't feel right.
No, especially because you saw them on screen together for how long?
A long time.
While she was Black Widow.
Yeah.
At least 10 years now.
Look at blonde actresses. Charlize Theron?
See, honestly, I think they fit together well. But, like, a name I saw that I think I'd be more interested in, just because I like her acting more, Amanda Seyfried.
The age gap would be odd.
But I honestly don't think that...
Naomi Watts.
You see? I don't think that would be bad either, but they're supposed to be, like, in their 30s.
In their 30s?
And I think you can fake RDJ being 30.
Really?
With certain tricks. Personality-wise, his personality doesn't really age him.
That's true.
I don't think, at least. And especially if you're playing an alcoholic and all he has to do is go back to his mindset of when he was like 20.
Sienna Miller would be good. She's from American Sniper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'd be good with that.
Claire Danes? Nah, I don't know about Claire Danes.
I was thinking Amanda Seyfried just because of her performance in Jennifer's Body.
That's right.
And she's aged since then.
That thing happened.
She was definitely, in my opinion, the best part of the movie.
Really?
I liked her in that movie.
Okay.
Because the only other thing I really remember her from is Mean Girls.
Yeah.
She's like, there's a 75% chance it's already raining. Like, oh my lord. But yeah, other than that, I would say that I can't remember whose name you picked out, but I think that would probably be a better pick.
Sienna Miller?
Yeah, age-wise, if you want it to be a little more close to him. Because Amanda Seyfried still looks young.
I think she's like probably early 30s.
Yeah. And then Dick Halloran would have to be an older black dude in his like 50s, maybe early 60s. And
you can go with the obvious.
Danny Glover?
No.
Which one?
Samuel L.
But he's 70.
I know, but he don't look like, no. He looks about 60.
I feel like there'd be too many motherfuckers in that movie, though.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I I love him as an actor. I have a hard time seeing him playing anything serious anymore.
Really?
Like, the last thing that he really played serious, like, he even put too much smiles on it for me, was Hateful Eight.
I guess so.
Like, especially, like, at the end of that movie.
Yeah. Where he gets wild.
Yeah. I do love him as an actor. But like I said, if I were to see him in anything...
Don Cheadle?
I can work with Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle would make me happy.
I just realized that they're in Iron Man together, too.
He's around 50.
I think he's like late 50s. Or mid 50s.
But I think the only thing that would keep me from putting him in there would be Robert Downey Jr. if I were to still keep him.
Yeah, because you'd still see...
You don't want too many people from the MCU.
Right.
Because then you add too many layers and then you get the annoying, like, theory videos of how this could attach, and it just, no. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, Danny Glover's way past that age. Like, he looks rough.
Yeah, he definitely looks old.
The last thing I saw him in was Badasses 2 with Danny Trejo. I really can't think of anybody age-wise. The only person I think that can play it personality-wise, and even then still looks maybe a little old, but I would be able to accept it, would be Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that. So, I think that would probably be my casting for the movie, and that's really the 4 most important people in that movie.
Okay.
So, have you had a chance to think about anybody for
Pinhead?
At least for Pinhead.
Well, we were talking about Matt Smith earlier, and
Ooh.
that would I think that'd be kind of interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how the shape of his head would work for that, but
He'd look weird bald.
he would for sure. I would so accept that though.
But he's a really good actor.
Yeah, I would definitely be happy to see that.
You know what would be tight as fuck do is Benedict Cumberbatch as Pinhead. That'd be weird, but it'd be cool because he's so classy.
Dude,
his voice is like cool.
The thing that attracts me about your fan casting is the whole movie is everything is so out of left field that it would put me in a seat to watch it. That director combined with either of those 2 actors,
it's so crazy it just might work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would definitely be happy with something like that.
Hellraiser getting an Oscar nomination.
I don't know. Has any horror movie ever gotten an Oscar nomination?
Exorcist.
Since then.
Like legit horror movie?
Yeah.
I really don't think so. It's hard to do.
And like we talked about in the news video, if one ever did well, either they didn't have a very good budget to begin with, or they were immediately greenlit a sequel that got a lower budget, and it devalued the first one. Mm-hmm. So I can see why Exorcist would probably be one of the last ones to get an Oscar. But like Us or Get Out didn't get anything?
Us didn't get anything, I don't think.
I want to say Get Out got some sort of...
God damn it, Nate. Oh no, Get Out did. It got like a screenplay, it got Daniel Kaluuya got Best Actor nomination. Okay. Jordan Peele got, I think it was a Best Picture nomination too.
Okay, so then we can at least count that.
So Get Out. Okay. I really want to see, I think it's possible, a lot of people think it's not, to make a slasher movie, but make it into an Oscar movie. That'd be hard to do, but I think you can do it.
Okay, so if you were to do that, a completely original, like you don't have to come up with a, you don't have to come up with a premise or anything, just the idea of a slasher movie. What director and actor, main villain actor, do you think could win that? Or at least get nominated?
Woody Harrelson. He's a really good bad guy. Like, you hate him when he's a bad guy.
Did you know his dad was actually a hitman?
No shit.
Yeah. Worked for the mob and stuff, so... Dang. That is 90% of where that probably comes from.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, when you've seen him as a bad guy, it's like you hate him when he's a bad guy.
What was it? Natural Born Killers?
Natural Born Killers, Out of the Furnace. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Dude, I love that movie. I spaced that out for a long time. Because Willem Dafoe's in it too, isn't he?
Is he?
I think in a little part.
Okay.
If not, I know that Casey Affleck's in it.
Casey Affleck and Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Woody Harrelson is the bad guy.
Because I'm pretty sure Willem Dafoe's the one that drives Casey Affleck to all the fights.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to make sure I wasn't off on that, but I could see him doing.
Either him or I'd even take Leo.
Ooh.
As a legit, like, killer?
I would love to see his... I feel like he's more of a Hannibal Lecter type.
Yeah, because he was actually supposed to... They were looking at him to be in American Psycho rather than Christian Bale at the time, but they thought he looked... Titanic was going to come out, he looked too...
Baby-faced?
Baby-faced and, all that stuff. Yeah.
I can see that. I would love to see him. That's the one thing I don't think type of movie he's been in, and I can't remember anything that he's really been like the villain. Oh, actually, no, I can't say that. Django Unchained.
Django Unchained, he was really good.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Seeing him as more of like a straight out and out villain, like, don't get me wrong, that was a dickhead role for him, but just pure
like modern
murder
day, pure
carnage.
Murder.
Yeah. Like, honestly, it doesn't even need to be modern day for me. Like, anything you can consider slasher genre that you can put a great director and a great actor in to just try to sweep for Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leo would be a good pick, but if I had to come up with my own, would American Psycho have gotten one?
Oh, they didn't.
No?
No, thanks.
If I had to go with my own, I would like to see... I'm honestly probably just going to pick Batista.
Okay.
His size, along with his character acting, I think he could do very well.
Okay.
I think I would probably separate him from Denny and put him with... I would like to see him with like another comedian type director, kind of like Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Almost sort of in the vein of John Krasinski, what he did with The Quiet Place.
Okay.
Maybe not him specifically, just because I don't feel like he has the background to do something that crazy. Mm-hmm. Even though Quiet Place was nuts.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anybody who's done the same thing as him and Jordan Peele lately.
I don't think there is.
Yeah. They're definitely two standouts as far as that goes. Just because I'd like to see something out of left field, Keegan-Michael Key directing would be interesting. I would like to see him directing anything.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Just because I'd like to see what I can pick out from what I've watched in Jordan Peele's movies. I can go to Key and Peele and look and be like, okay, like that clearly was like something that had to have come from his head.
Yeah.
Where I'd love to see what would come from Keegan-Michael Key's head.
It'd be interesting too, because like there's a few examples out there, like guys you wouldn't think would make like a really like screwed up horror movie, and they do. Comedians
seem to have like, because you have to develop that like kind of twisted sense of humor.
Yeah.
It works so well because of that's why I have faith in the upcoming Saw movie.
Chris Rock.
Yes. Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, I think.
That's weird. I never like put their names in with Saw.
And what I heard was Samuel L. Jackson is going to be playing Chris Rock's dad in the movie.
Yeah.
Which, if nothing else, will be interesting.